Hello, Seachel here. On the PTR, doing try mode for a Tyrande, go through Tyrande build. This will be slightly long and boring.
Choose a talent.
I did kind of go through it once, just so I'm not slowing it down by reading everything really slowly, just to kind of give you an idea of a build. I will say I stole this build. Somebody posted it in the Discord. I'm not sure exactly who made the build. I can look that up and I'll post the link. But I read it and it just seemed amazing, and I cannot imagine that Tyrande will go live like this, but if she does, she will be extremely good, I think. So at level 1, you have Ranger, Lunar Blaze, and Ranger's Mark. Ranger's Mark was already a thing. I think it's a little bit different now, because it's quest rather than just like a normal cooldown. But Lunar Blaze is really the way to go here, I think. Just very good. It adds 3% damage every time you hit somebody with your E, which is your stun. After you hit 10 times, it no longer has a mana cost, and after you hit 20 times, its range is increased by 40. So at level 1, you get what you normally got on Tyrande at level 7, but you get it for free on top of damage and reduced mana cost, assuming you finish the quest, which 10 shouldn't be hard. 20 might take a little bit depending on what you're doing, but you're probably, in most situations, you're going to take Tyrande as a secondary support where you're going to be rotating, ganking people, so you're taking her for her E and for her stun. So you take this, and let's toggle cooldowns off. And we will just get this up to, so you see the mana going down every time, because it's try mode, it just comes back, but so 9 and 10. Now when we do it, no mana being used off the mana bar, which is awesome. So it's normally 60 mana, which is huge, and now you don't spend 60 mana at all. Granted, you're not going to be able to use this often. It's a 12-second cooldown. So let's get it to 20. 3 more. 19 and 20. Boom. Completed the quest. So you also saw the damage going up as I was hitting that. 3% every time. The damage numbers are for level 20 right now. But now we have an increased, so now we can hit it all the way from back here, where before we were more like right here. So 40% increased range. Amazing. So at level 4, you have Moonlight Arrow, Celestial Attunement, and Kaldori Resistance. Depending, you might be able to do other things here. But right now, which I assume is going to be fixed, I noticed last time, Moonlight Arrows for sure. It's supposed to reduce the cooldown of balloons by additional 0.75 seconds. If I'm not mistaken, last time I tried this, it's bugged and it lowers it by 3 seconds or something like that. So we heal, you have 12 seconds. Oh, let's toggle cooldowns off. Heal, you have 12 seconds. Goes down, goes down. Now, heal. Goes down by like 3 seconds every single time. Heal. Boom. Down to 8. Down to 4. Down to 1. Down to 8. Down to 4. Down to 1. So, absolutely amazing, but I think it's just a bug. Should be fixed. I think it'll still end up being the way to go regardless. If there was another one to take here, like if they have a lot of lockdown, this could be good, because every time you heal somebody with a stun, you can use the heal again for free. So, somebody gets to Hakatung, or, somebody gets locked down and they're about to get burst, you get 2 quick heals to try and heal through that burst. Or Light of Loom grants 15% spell armor. I don't think it's enough to just make it worth it, because if it was just armor, maybe. But spell armor, I don't know. So then at 7, you have Huntress's Fury, you have Darkness in Archery, and the one that I think is the one to take, True Shot Aura in this build. So gain attack damage Aura. So everybody around you now gets 10% increased attack damage to nearby, for your nearby allies. And you can activate to double this bonus for 5 seconds.
Choose a talent.
So now, what's the range on this? Does it say? I don't think it says past the nearby allies. I think they should put a indicator like they've been doing for most heroes. I thought there was an indicator. I'm wrong. So look how fast you can heal from a level 4. But yeah, so now he's getting a attack bonus, and I could push F, and now him and anybody else in a small area around me. I think it's about like Brightwing's normal heal, but I'm not positive on that. I wish they would put, or at least tell you how many squares so you have a rough idea of what it is. But it's probably the same as you know, some of the like reduced damage for enemies around activate abilities. I forget what it's called. So at 10, I think both can still be good. In this one, just because of the utility that's on this, I think Shadowstalk is very good. Shadowstalk, you stealth, and you gain 30% movement speed. And you can stay stealth through the entirety of this unless somebody reveals you or you do some type of attack or ability to reveal yourself. And then whenever Shadowstalk is broken, gain 50% attack speed and retain its movement speed of 30% for 5 seconds. So this would be good for, let's say you're fighting and you want to disengage. You can use it, your team can just run. And if they're not revealed, they can get away safely. Or something like, let's say the enemy team's on this bruiser camp and you guys are right here and you want to invade. Boom, you pop it. You run into place, you get into position, and then boom, you reveal yourselves right on top of them, and they don't see it coming. They can't properly react because they just see invisible people walking in. So I think Shadowstalk's probably the way to go. Once again, being that Tyrande is probably going to be a secondary. But if you need zoning and stuff like that, Starfall can be very good. I think Starfall is totally acceptable to take here. Depending on the situation, it could even be better. Depending on your team, depending on if you're organized enough to really utilize Shadowstalk, maybe the zoning in Starfall is just better. But in organized play, I think Shadowstalk's going to be the way to go 60 to 70% of the time. So at level 13, I think, I mean, once again, this is kind of like that utility, your secondary support role. You're going to put out some great damage. Sentinel slows and reduces damage dealt. So now you hit somebody. So when you're in the fight,
Choose a talent.
of course he dies though. So you're in the fight, you're in people's faces. Now instead of before doing an owl build with Tyrande where you're trying to hit people from, you know, a distance away to increase the damage once you get to level 16. Now you're in their face, you just want to hit them. It slows them, it reduces attack damage.
That was rather entertaining.
So at 16,
This is the end.
the choice is Elun's Chosen. So you activate to make Tyrande's basic attacks heal the target ally for 200%, which is pretty huge. I mean, Tyrande should be, you know, in battle, she should be hitting people nonstop. So now, if Malfurion hypothetically had damage, let's go and test it on these dummies. It'll be a little bit easier.
Choose a talent.
So now, I put the G on him, and now boom, 400 at level 22, of course. 428 ticks. 200% of the damage being dealt. So 214, yeah, 428. Does have a 40-second cooldown, but I think it's still outstanding. So, you know, depending on who needs it, it could be you save it for somebody that's getting low. It could be you just throw it on the tank right away, as the tank's in the front line, kind of taking that initial damage, and just kind of heal through that. It'll be interesting to see kind of when and who you should really put this on. I'm guessing it'll probably be better to use it earlier on whoever's getting that initial burst, which is probably the tank.
A killing blow.
And then at level 20, you have Eyes of the Huntress, Shooting Star, increases basic attack range by 1.1. Every 10th basic attack against heroes cast a free lunar flare at a random hero near Tyrande's position. It's actually kind of interesting. I didn't read that one before. I think the way to go is Ice Blade Arrows. Increases attack speed by 25%, and basic attacks against enemy heroes reduce their damage, because once again we're kind of going that utility build. So now reduces their damage dealt by 8% for 2 seconds. So by the time you hit level 20, you're not only still putting out some decent healing numbers on top of the damage that you do, you're greatly reducing the amount of damage that enemy heroes can potentially put out. This will be very important to, make sure you're A-ing the right hero. So if there's like 5 heroes here and you want to reduce Jaina's damage, you need to make sure you're in a good position, if you can be, to hit Jaina.
No peace.
So you need to attack move at the right person.
My eyes upon you. As the gods will.
Yeah, so I think at level 20, Ice Blade Arrows. And like I said, I did take this build from somebody. I will post the link, but seems very good. So just to kind of like go through it one time really quick.
Run fast.
So at level 1, Lunar Blaze quest adds 3% damage every time you use your E. And then after hitting 10, the mana cost is gone, and after hitting 20, increases its range by 40%. At level 4, Moonlight Arrow, which is bugged right now, reduces by 3 seconds instead of 0.75. I think that'll be fixed. I think it'll still be the route to go. But like I said, I mean, situational, I think this could work. This, I think rarely ever. It's just not enough. It does stack up to 4 times, though. So maybe for 6 seconds, stacks up to 4 times. You can really only get 1 off until... unless you take it with like where you can cast this twice, then you potentially could be putting on 30 spell armor for 6 seconds, which isn't bad. It just doesn't seem worth it because it's going to be very, very situational. Only every once in a while will you really get 30, and you won't get it until what level was that? Why can't I find this? Anyway, but yeah, so I think Moonlight Arrows, way to go, especially with the bug. At 7, True Shot Aura, gain attack damage aura, 10% increase attack damage, 5 seconds. You can double it to 20% for the 5 seconds. 10% constantly, can double for 5 seconds. And then Shadow Stalk, kind of go in and out of battles. On 13, Harsh Moonlight. Sentinel slow the target by 30% and reduce damage dealt by 30%. So somebody dives in, let's say a Kerrigan, boom, hit her in the face with an owl. She can't chase down as hard, and she's doing 30% less damage. Just extremely good. Owls are going to be more of a close range thing now with this build than I'm going to shoot somebody from across the map. It's going to be during fights. Owl actually has a really good purpose, and it's going to be good to make sure you hit the right person with it. Otherwise, I mean, before this and when you're not team fighting, it's still just going to be scouting. You're going to throwing it over camps, make sure you know where the enemy team is. 16, Loon's Chosen, basic attacks heal target ally. So once again, heal, throw it on somebody, boom, attacks heal for 20% for 200% for 5 seconds. Just very good burst heal. Ice Blade Arrows at 20, gain attack speed, reduce enemy damage dealt. Once again, make sure you're attacking the right person. You can reduce their damage by 8% for 2 seconds and stack it up to 5 times. I mean, that's huge. So very good. I mean, it is level 20, so it's going to be very late in the game, but I mean, this can just be fantastic. So that is the build. Hope you guys enjoyed. Try it out. Try other things as well. I think this will kind of be the build to go. We'll see, though. You know, as kind of some of the pro scene people start playing around with her and using her. But I think she's just going to be extremely, extremely good. They definitely have to fix this Moonlight Arrows bug. But yeah, they might have to tweak her numbers because I think she's just going to be doing such good damage, but she's going to be doing more healing than she did before and way more utility. I mean, huge buff to her, huge buff. I would be shocked if she's not, you know, first picks, first bans very often. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you appreciate it. Try it out.